feel very fortunate to be able to spend 29 years here. A place I love, a place that means a lot to a lot of people in my family. You know, I've been a fortunate guy. I could come in here and stay for a long time and just think about all the stories that go with the name and how fortunate I was to be associated with them here at Virginia Tech.
Touchdown, Tech! I've never enjoyed saying that more. The game clock winds out. Antonio Banks takes it in. It's Beamer ball against number 1 Miami. Michael Vick makes a miracle happen in Morgantown. It's a miracle in Blacksburg.
It's got to be the greatest day ever for Frank Beamer.
In 1987, Frank Beamer walked onto the field at Lane Stadium as the head coach of the school he starred at 2 decades earlier. 29 years later, when he announced his retirement, the former Hokie defensive star can look back at a legendary career, one that put Virginia Tech on the college football map.
I think just being around it and having opportunities to coach at different places, be around different people, kind of got me thinking bigger. You know, it just doesn't usually end this way. You know, it usually end there kicking you out the door, and couldn't appreciate more how it's ended. Everyone involved it's been outstanding.
This is where the storybook career of Frank Beamer began. About an hour's drive south of Blacksburg, Beamer first made a name for himself growing up with his parents, 2 older sisters, an older brother in Fancy Gap, a postage stamp town outside of Hillsville.
We are downtown Hillsville, Virginia. This is the city that I grew up in. They asked me, how many stoplights do we have? I said 4. But they're all at the same intersection. I still think I got a lot of my values, not only from my family, but from people around me, how we treated each other in this county. I think, you know, I learned a lot about life growing up in this area right here. A lot of these fields, you know, are hay fields, and that's what I did a lot of work in when I was growing up. And my sole purpose in life was to get out of those hay fields. That was hard work. This is it. This is the house I grew up in. This was the barn over here, and our house right here. So this is it. This is where I grew up.
Growing up in Fancy Gap, in Hillsville, and the farming life, and all of that, had to be a unique upbringing for the opportunities that would come. Tell us about what was that like?
You know, it's interesting growing up on the farm and having the cows and milking cows every morning.
Chores.
Yeah, chores.
Yeah.
And that's how you made your money, how you bought your clothes.
Right.
And it was just, you know, as I think about it, a great way to grow up, being responsible, learning to, you know, to earn your way. And so, you know, I'm blessed to have grown up the way I did. Feeding the chickens wasn't hard, but you had to attend to them. Feeding the pigs wasn't hard, but you just had to do it. That was part of the chores. Milking the cows, that's what we milked the cows right in that area right there. That was my life. Milked a lot of cows right there.
We grew up on this plot of land that we're standing on. It's got a lot of memories as far as we used to put up hay on the fields. We ran cattle. Of course, we had pigs that we kept in a pen down here near the barn, and chickens, and all the whole gamut of a little family farm.
Farming's for a lot of people, and it's a great living for a lot of people. But I was more into something else. I didn't know exactly what I was into, but I knew I wanted to. I didn't want to farm the rest of my life.
For those that didn't know a lot about Frank Beamer, the question would always pop up, you know, what happened to him? And you're growing up on a farm, you're working in that farm, you're out with your brothers, and so there's gasoline spilled, and all of a sudden, boom, something happens in your life that you cannot control. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that and what it was like to go through that as a 7-year-old?
Well, number one, after that day, when you're burned the way I was, a lot of people are saying what you're not going to be able to do. And I think my family, my mom in particular, was kind of like, what we're going to do.
If it hadn't been for the good Lord, Frank wouldn't have made it through, because he was seriously burned. He spent 3 years recuperating from something like 32 plastic surgery operations, and that's just another example of the Lord blessing us and seeing us through some really tough times.
I think the whole procedure certainly changed my life, but I think I learned a lot. How to appreciate people, treat people, fight like heck, overcome, relentless, all those, I think I learned a lot.
Beamer finally recovered from the terrible burns, and his attitude and resiliency helped him become a 3-sport star at Hillsville High School. He was a star quarterback and a defensive back for head coach Tommy Thompson's Indians.
This is the field that I played both football and baseball on. Athletics was your escape. That's you like getting off the farm, out of the hayfield, and come practice. It was you kind of look forward to this, and so I come to appreciate it a lot.
I'm guessing support of family, and particularly, as you mentioned, what your mom was pointing out to you just meant the world.
Yeah.
To get you through that.
Oh, absolutely. And then, the chances of me becoming a football player for Virginia Tech, those percentages weren't great. But, keep working at it and keep fighting. And I tell the story, Coach Claiborne, was here when Hillsville High School played Blacksburg High School. And I was a quarterback, and we were in a shotgun, and I was either throwing the ball or running the ball I ever played, generally. And so I ran a sweep, guy hit me, I turned head over heels, came down on my head, and rolled around and trying to figure out where I was, and I got up, and I was waving to the sideline. And Coach Claiborne thought I was waving like, hey, I'm okay. I was waving like, hey, I need a break here. But they never sent anybody in. So Coach Claiborne made the statement to me. He said, anybody that tough, we're going to give them a scholarship to Virginia Tech.
That is great.
So I told you,
great.
I've always been lucky.